So the second part is the terrible mother. We got as I talked about the masks of the terrible mother, or some of them, and how she punishes to keep you on the straight path, and from that you tend to attract people in your life to punish you to keep you on your path, like and restrict you in order not to actually stray from your path of productivity, so you don't end up like getting confused and whatnot, and you end up like having some sort of like a punishing ideal self, or punishing super ego, um, which leads you to further victimization, because you feel victimized, you feel that you are hurting yourself without even knowing, so you kind of exteriorize it on others, even if they're not doing anything against you, and they might be or they might not be, but what is happening is that you're actually like just exteriorizing that pain on them, so because it doesn't really make sense to you that you're actually harming yourself, you know. And then you kind of like feel bad about yourself, and you turn into zones of self-loathing. But the funny thing about victimization, that it starts in the beginning when you start exploring. Like if we're going to talk about this scale of survival, it starts from sleep to awareness, and sleep till death. Like it's a cycle of sleep and death. And in the middle, you got awareness that teaches you how to be aware of what's going in that cycle. Um, and the way you get aware of victimization is that you're actually like, you're going into a new experience, and you find yourself attracting people that would eventually either make you feel like a messiah, because at the end of the day they're not really good people, and you want to do good things for them, but they're not really good, so you're actually just wasting your time and effort and energy on them, and you're wasting your self-worth on them. Okay. Now, and you don't have to really like kick people out of your life. A good way of dealing with people is to know how valuable are they to your life, and treat them in accordance with their value. Because somehow, even if they have low value, they might be useful at some point. And you might be useful to them as well. Now, the fourth part I want to talk about is looking at your pain. Strength is about being able to face your pain with compassion. Not to fight it, not to destroy it. Just look at it with compassion, because at the end of the day, it seems to me that pain is just information that is being hindered from passage into your understanding, and these obstacles create some sensations that you can't really understand, and you can't, and your lack of understanding causes you to fear them. And once you fear those sensations, you kind of block them away. Even if they are nice sensations, you're kind of blocking them away. Which leads me on to the last point, which is sexuality and strength. Now, sexuality is a very interesting topic, and if I start talking about it, I won't shut up. So the best way to deal with it is understand that whatever you're going through is a product. It's not your actions. It is your actions, but regard it as a product. And maybe that regards to victimization as well, because you kind of when you don't see the patterns that are causing this, or the patterns that you can claim to cause that and make sense to you, that leads you to be feeling victimized, because you're not having control over the situation. And at the end of the day, as I said before, to me there is no such thing as control, merely manipulation of which you can work with. And the last bit is strength itself. As I talked about it, strength is a form of compassion in dealing with your pains, in dealing with what doesn't work for you. Some people would actually, when they see someone like bullying, for example, and they get aggressive with people who are really weak. You know, they're not really weak, like they're in a bad state of mind, you know, or whatever. They start bullying the shit out of them. And it's not even for a joking matter. Like, the other party is not laughing, and the other party is not having fun. They're actually in shambles. That's actually an exteriorization of your diminished self on that person, because you can't handle how your ideal self is dealing with your diminished self, and and your sense of true self is very diminished. That the only way you can feel yourself is by actually diminishing the other, which leads us to the concept of conquer and defeat, where you actually conquer when you attract the circumstances when you need to conquer the other, or get defeated by the other, is because you don't know, you still didn't understand how to feel compassionate with that part of you that doesn't work with you. The only way you deal with it is to kill it. Well, the fact of the matter is, we don't know shit about death. We don't understand death. The only thing we know about it is what we heard about it, and people disappear suddenly, and we call it death. And we bury them, and their heartbeats are gone. We call it death. But at the end of the day, is it death? We don't know that. We just gave it a name. And a point of notice, in my opinion, whatever needs a language to translate as sensation is not true. And that's about it. And by the way, there is no such thing as truth as well, because at the end of the day, truth is just is a form of giving certain certainty to a subject or to a matter, so you can have it in front of you for a while, so you can manipulate with it, you play with it for a while, and have what you can get out of it. So truth is just a tool to actually stabilize something at a certain point, to stagnate it at a certain point, so you can get from it what you want, and then it moves away. And that's about it for the strength card. Please, I'm going to show you the card again. Here it is. Where's the light? Here it is. So there's the strength card, and I told you about the symbolism. And it's in Leo, of course. So tell me what you think about it, and what it means to you, and how you can use it to your advantage. Another exercise that I told you guys about, about working with your emotions during the day, I found it easier for myself, instead of instead of focusing on memories, is to actually focus on a symbol. For example, if you're evoking lust, then see, for example, the gods that you're working with at that day, for example, let's say Pan and Babylon. So you focus on them as they're fucking each other. For example, having a statue of them in your mind while they're fucking, and project whatever thought comes up on an organ while they're fucking. And write down the sensations that you get out of it. And you would understand that actually your sensations that you've been blocking, I'm not going to say it, just see what happens, and you're going to have a shitload of fun. Alright? Idris out.